Yesterday, the playoff match was held at Akron Stadium between Jamaica and New Caledonia. What was good? What was bad? I was there, and I'm going to talk to you about this topic next, because obviously these are tests. Thinking about what's coming, the World Cup, in 3 months, stay with me. I'll tell you more in a moment. And if you went, I'd like to know about your experience. How did it go for you? What did you like, and what didn't you like about what happened yesterday? I'm Jesus Bernal, and I thank all of you for your attention. Thank you very much for being here with me to talk about the latest regarding the Chivas team. Caliente Mexico directly to your account, the welcome bonus, just by registering and clicking the link I leave for you below in the pinned comment. With that, you have it guaranteed, so you can use it however you want on the platform. Mexico versus Portugal is coming up tomorrow, and we can take advantage of it on Caliente Mexico. Without further ado, let's start this video with the latest news about Chivas. Well, so what was good and what was bad about the playoff at Akron Stadium yesterday? Was Akron bad? Well, let's start with the good things, or the changes, or some things that I don't have. Right, the issue of the match operation. There were no major setbacks. In fact, Chivas was mostly in charge of this situation. There were quite a few people from Guadalajara's staff involved in this matter, so everything went smoothly there. Also, all the branding they did at the stadium. Obviously, seeing the Federation Internationale de Football Association sponsors and the whole stadium branded with the logos gives it a different look. The typography gives you that World Cup vibe. It really gives you that World Cup feeling. Also, the fans were amazing. Yesterday, the fans in Guadalajara were just perfect. I think there were a few people from Jamaica, a few from New Caledonia, even people from Congo who came to watch the match. Could Jamaica be their next opponent? And the people behaved really well. In fact, it was unusual because the fans started out supporting Jamaica, and then, because of the emotion, they switched to New Caledonia. In the end, the last 5 minutes were crazy for the people, for the stadium. There was a really good vibe in that sense. What changed? Look, the beer changed. They stopped selling the brand that sponsors Guadalajara, which is Tecate, and all its derivatives, to switch to the one that sponsors the World Cup. In this case, they promoted Michelob Ultra a lot, but they also sold Corona. So that was one of the changes regarding the soft drinks. I think it's still the Coca-Cola family that stays the same. There was no change in that sense. In this match, they still allowed the sale of food by the people who already had concessions. But I understand that once the World Cup comes, they have to leave. And surely someone else will come to offer the food. At least that's the first thing. That's what I was told. If there's something bad to say, I think it's the traffic operation when arriving. Terrible, terrible. I know people who took an hour or more than an hour just to park because it was impossible, really impossible. I'm not talking about periferical traffic, but once you're inside the JBC circuit, because the operation wasn't adequate, because some parking lots were closed, and because access was very slow. So that's something to consider for improvement, not for the World Cup, because during the World Cup, people won't be driving into the stadium, but definitely for Chivas matches. If something already worked for you, don't change it. Don't mess with it, because then it turns into a nightmare just to get in. It didn't happen to me. I arrived very early, but I know people who spent at least an hour inside the JBC circuit just to find parking. That's the good and the bad that I noticed yesterday about the playoffs. In the meantime, this question remains, which will only be answered on Saturday, about who will be the starting goalkeeper for the Mexican national team. For me, it's very clear it has to be a Rangel. And on top of that, Iboazco Aguirre himself has made sure to send Ochoa to the bench, to leave him out of the 2010 World Cup, to criticize him at the Qatar World Cup, saying that Tata Martino had to take him out of the goal. He has been one of the biggest critics of Francisco Guillermo, Mr. Javier Vasco Aguirre. Yesterday, in the press conference before the match against Portugal, Vasco was asked about the Memo Ochoa issue. And this is what he said. He talked more about leadership than about football matters. Take a look.
Well, Memo is a goalkeeper who is active, who is competing. For many years, he has been away from our Liga Mexico, and he is a player who helps us a lot, both on and off the field. He is a reference in Mexican soccer. I have two here, Rafa Marquez and him. Did Andres Guardado ever come for his farewell? I used to tell the players, look, these three have made history in Mexican soccer. Look at these examples. So he's active, he's fine, he's working. I want to see him, and that's it, period.
There's an important topic we haven't really talked about. It's the situation with Mexico's opponent that's missing to complete the World Cup group, which will come from a European playoff. Well, from 4 possibilities, it was reduced to 2, and actually it was reduced to the 2 most viable ones. North Macedonia was eliminated by Denmark, and the Czech Republic defeated Ireland on penalties. What does this mean? Well, it means that between Denmark and the Czech Republic, Mexico's opponent who will complete the World Cup group will come from one of them. This match will be in Prague, the capital of Czechia. It's called Czechia now. That's where the game will take place. And well, that's where the last guest to the World Cup tournament will be decided. Between these 2 teams, we'll see who ends up making it to the World Cup. And actually, it's going to be at the Akron. It will be at the Akron because one of these 2 will make their debut against Korea on June 11, right at the Chivas' home. What's the schedule for Tala, Richie, Brian, Hormiga, and Piojo? Next Saturday, 7 post-meridium at the Azteca Stadium field. At the reopening of this venue, they will be facing Portugal. They will have a match against the Portugal team, which is scheduled for 7 post-meridium, Central Mexico time, for the United States and Canada, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. I guess it will be on, I don't know, Telemundo, Fox Deportes, or one of those. Will that match be broadcast, right? We'll end this video here. Thank you very much for your attention. Keep subscribing, commenting, sharing, and liking, and I'll see you next time. I'm Jesus Bernal. Goodbye.